Hi folks, I'm back for another movie review tonight. It's Spidey. Uh, it's been about a week or a week and a half since I did my last movie review. I'm reviewing 5 movies, possibly 6 tonight, all the same character. But first, I'd like to dedicate this particular webcast to Kara C. Kara, I miss you so much. I wish you'd get involved with these webcasts. I think you'd have a lot of fun. So this is dedicated to you, Kara. Okay, let's get to the movie reviews tonight. And I really mean that, Kara. I miss you. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the Universal Mummy movies. They all started in 1932 to 44. Of course, you have Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy in 1955. So we're going to be talking. Well, let's forget about the Abbott and Costello one right now because that's kind of goofy. You know who Abbott and Costello are. I don't have to. They're icons from that period of time, that era of movie making. But they're my favorites. I love Abbott and Costello. Anyway, let's talk about. Let's not get sidetracked. I want to try to keep these reviews a little short tonight. You know, I don't want to stretch them over 20 minutes. So anyway, you see Clubber back there with his disco light, and we got another new character coming in just a day, maybe tonight. Oh man, you're gonna freak out. He's gonna scare the living piss out of you. Anyway, maybe more than the Mummy. Anyway, we're gonna start with 1932. We had Boris Karloff as a Mummy. He really wasn't. He was bandaged up basically at the very beginning, you know, and then of course they read the incantation on the scripts and everything, and he brought him back to life, you know. And of course, you know. I think you've all seen that movie. It's a very good movie. You know, Boris Karloff is really evil and everything, and he's got the old wrinkled face and everything. He's trying to blend in with Egyptian society, you know, back in the 30s or whatever it was, you know, 1930s, early 30s maybe. It's a very good movie. You know, all these movies kind of have sequels. They all kind of blend and everything. I'm kind of generally going to talk about them all and kind of give you a rundown of how they all work together. Then you had, of course, you had these other movies. I got some notes here. You got the Mummy's hand. You got the Mummy's tomb. You got the ghost of the Mummy, and you got Curse of the Mummy. Now, these all had great stars in them, anywhere from Boris Karloff to George Zucco to John Carradine to Lon Chaney Jr. Oh my God, it's like an A-list of horror movie icons back from that era. You know, I kind of like these movies. You know, Tom Tyler actually was in the second movie. He played the first Mummy after Boris Karloff, and I thought he did actually a pretty darn good job. Did you ever notice when you're watching that movie that his eyes were so creepy and menacing? I mean, my God. That was oh God, what was that, the hand of the Mummy? Yeah, the Mummy's hand. Sorry about that. I'm going to show you what I got here. I got the box set from Amazon about 2 weeks ago. This is the remastered versions. It has 6 movies, and it also has Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, which is kind of a dopey movie, but you know, like I said before. Anyway, Tom Tyler. Let's get this straight. You guys, God, ooh, I think I look so good. Anyway, Tom Tyler played the first Mummy after Boris Karloff, and I thought he was really creepy. Like I said before, he had something in his face that made him look really, vicious and mean. His eyes were just kind of, every time he knew there was some tannin fluid around, he would just kind of go berserk. His eyes would kind of wiggle and everything, and he'd be walking, trying to grab it and stuff like that. I thought he was a really good Mummy. And then, of course, he got replaced with Lon Chaney in the next 3 movies, which are actually pretty good. The Mummy's Tomb, The Ghost of the Mummy, and The Curse of the Mummy, of course. I'm looking at a piece of paper because I want to make sure I get this straight. I know a lot of you are Universal horror fans, as I am. You know, I grew up with these movies. These movies are made way before I was born, but you know, I used to watch reruns on Saturday afternoon, and all the Mummy movies. So they basically became entrenched in your brain, just like everybody's brain. All the Universal movies, the Frankensteins, the Wolfmans, the Draculas, the Invisible Man, all these movies. So I could go on and on with that kind of a list, but anyway. Lon Chaney reprised his role like 3 different after Tom Tyler did in 3 consecutive Mummy movies up to 1944, I believe. 1944, I think, was the last one they made with the original cast members and stuff like that. And I always thought that these movies were just, I mean, I think I'm more of a Wolfman fan or a Frankenstein fan, but I did enjoy the the Mummy movies immensely. You know, that's why I bought this collection. This collection is quite nice. It's got 6 discs in it. It's, you know, or I think it's got 4 discs in it, or 3 discs in it. So you don't have to flip it over, you know, and then scratch up on the other side. So it's got the artwork on one side of the disc and like 1 movie or 2 movies on each disc or whatever it might be, you know. So that's what I kind of like about this new remastered version of The Mummy. You know, it's actually quite good. You know, it's kind of like a thick type of DVD. This is the conventional remastered DVD. It's not Blu-ray or anything like that, but the picture quality is outstanding. I mean, it looks sharp. You know, they are all remastered for Universal, by Universal Pictures. And there you can see like Boris Karloff, like right. I need to get my fingers right here, right there, and then you got all these other photographs of all the different stars and everything. And, you know, what really cracked me up about these movies that every time a new priest took over for the old one that was dying, like George Zuko or something like that, he would be absolutely attracted to the woman that was in the movie, you know, the love interest of the hero of the movie. And of course, he would break his vows and everything. Of course, Karis would come after him and kill the fucker. That's why I always cracked up. These guys were pathetic. They're trying to fight for a cause of the ancient Egyptian scriptures and all that kind of stuff, you know, and oh my God, and they turn around and just be as creepy as the people who dug up these these mummies back then. That always cracked me up, you know. No self-discipline there. I mean, if they really believed in what they were doing, they would not be you know, lured by, you know, all that kind of juicy, good-looking women type stuff. Or whatever you want to call it, you know. So anyway, aside from that point, these movies actually were pretty darn good. I mean, there's Boris Karloff, by the way. He's on the cover. Of course, he should be on the cover because he was the original Mummy. And then, of course, I don't understand why he did not reprise his role in the next 3 or 4 movies. I think it was a really good, maybe the makeup was too much. Of course, the makeup is done by Jack Pierce, of course. Universal horror icon back from that era. You know, I mean, all the bandages on Lon Chaney and Tom Tyler and Boris Karloff, everything looks very real. You know, it looks like it actually is like a decayed mummy, you know. It's really cool. And I never really got frightened by the Mummy. I always kind of thought that, how can the Mummy catch somebody that's running from them? You know, most of these people were always tripping over something, or they got cornered in an alley or something, you know, and you know, it's like, you can't outrun this guy dragging his foot. I mean, God, come on. You know, it's all, to me, it's kind of stupid, you know. How can you not, I mean, if I was back then, I'd be just running around the Mummy and just, you know, taunting him. Just sitting there, just joke, you know. Hey, you bag of dust! Come on, catch me now! Come on, catch me! I bet you know. I mean, you've all seen these Mummy movies, you know. He moves like a tortoise, basically, you know. Unless there's some Tana fluid, you know, in the town or something, or in this little village or something, where he kills anybody that's in contact with it, you know, because he needs that fluid. He's always being blackmailed by these high priests and everything. That really pissed, you know, because you know, 3 leaves keeps his heart beating, you know, and 9, I think, Tana leaves basically gives him movement. I think that's how it really went in all these movies. They were always talking about this kind of stuff, and it's like, oh, they just did blackmailing poor Karis. Karis got screwed so bad in these movies, The Mummy, you know, whether it be Tom Tyler, or Lon Chaney, or, you know, Boris Karloff. He's got blackmailed, you know, left and right, you know. If you want to stay alive, Karis, you're going to have to follow my instructions and kill people if you want this Tana fluid. Tana leaf fluid, I should say. George Zuko was in a couple of these movies too, maybe 2 or 3 of them. He was actually quite good. He played like that ancient scholar who was in league with you know, the pharaohs and everything. He wanted, you know, oh God, it's all so goofy, man. But you know, I kind of like it. It's like I said, these aren't my favorite movies, but I always digged on the makeup. I thought the makeup was outstanding in all the mummies and everything, and the mummy always wanted, what was it, Princess Ananka? Princess Ananka is, I think she came in on the second movie or something like that, and I can't remember. Uh, there's one scene I think in the fourth movie or something like that, third movie, where she's been basically, well, actually, it's kind of, these are actually kind of sequels. They all kind of like pick up where the last one left off, maybe 5 years later, 10 years later, whatever it might be. And I always thought these people did a really good job, but I didn't think the acting was really that good. But it was a typical Universal movie. But what really made Universal great was the black and white film. It also made it was very atmospheric, had great soundtrack, music and everything, and it was creepy, atmospheric, and that's a really good thing about all the Universal movies. They gave you a sense of eerie creepiness, and that's why I kind of like these movies. I wish Hollywood filmmakers would go back to this method of making movies, like I've mentioned before, black and white and creepy like this, because I think that's more effective than today's horror movies. To be honest with you, I do like a lot of horror movies nowadays that have been come out, whenever, for the last 10, 20, 30 years, more recent ones. But, they rely more on special effects and, CGI effects and stuff like that. And Universal didn't have to do that. I don't think there's hardly any blood in their movies at all. It's just, like I said before, you see the Wolfman or the mummy coming up to somebody with his left hand to strangle him, and it's just getting closer and closer, and the camera would pan in, and it would from the opposite way, from the perspective of the victim, and he'd like strangle the victim, which I thought was kind of cool. Of course, he'd break his neck or something, suffocate him, or in there he'd be dead, So, but I can't figure out why these guys can't run from the mummy. I know that's what the script calls for, But to me, in real life, anybody could run from the mummy and get away. Whether you have to run a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks to the local police station or whatever it might be, or to your neighbor's house or load up on some guns or something. Fire. How about some fire? Just torch him or something. Just torch him. Throw some gasoline on him. Torch him. He'll be running back to his little tomb as fast as his little butt will allow. I actually think the mummy could have moved a little faster in these movies, because I thought, I don't know, maybe they wanted to add a bunch of more creepiness to the mummy, moving slow and still catching his victims, whether it be mainly men. I think it was always men. He kind of loved women, which is cool. I do too. So, one guy in one of these movies gets trapped in the alley. He runs away from the Karis is chasing him, of course, and he runs into this alley, dead end, of course, and he's trying to climb up this dead end section, wood enclosure or something. Of course, Karis just rips his ass down and strangles him to death, Can't remember what his name was. This was actually pretty good, really pretty good series of movies. I mean, I've actually watched all of them within about 3 or 4 nights in the last maybe week or so. I'd maybe watch one night and 2 the next night, depending on what time I had to spare. And but I do thoroughly enjoy these movies. Most of these movies are fairly short. I'd say they're probably maybe no more than 80 minutes long at the very most. They get right to the point. It's a basic story. They're all sequels from one to another, to the other, to another. I kind of wish they would have made more of these movies. I don't understand why they quit in 1944. And I think they could have made a few more. I don't know. Maybe Universal just got sick of making mummy movies. Maybe there wasn't an audience for these movies anymore. I think there probably still was. Of course, then we had 1955, and we had Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, which is pretty stupid, actually. It's a pretty stupid movie. Oh my god. Oh, what's this? Hey, I got Blinky here. Blinky thinks they're stupid too. I think they're so stupid. You notice I don't have many special effects during my webcast. The other guys in this the other members, God, I'm really fumbling my words tonight. The other members of this webcast, they have all the flashing lights, and they have the screaming from the basement where Leatherhead is chopping up people down there and stuff like that. I kind of like it just the way it is. It's raining outside. We're going to have a storm pretty soon, and forget that, though. So basically, let's get back to the movies because that's what the whole point of this webcast is, right? So, I think I'm just going to rate my movies now. I would say all these movies are pretty much the same rating for me. Uh, a lot of people like the first one, the Boris Karloff, the best, but, I kind of like all the sequels too. And, I'm not going to give these a 10, but I probably would give these movies maybe at least, I got to be fair about this because a lot of people get pissed at me. And I do like these movies, so I got to give them a good rating. So I would think probably, let me think. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You think I need a lobotomy or something, maybe? Or maybe I could be a mummy. Somebody could, fill me full of Tana fluid and wrap me up like a mummy and weather me, and I could go walking down the street or something and just, terrorize people. That sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? Oh yeah, Anyway, I'm going to give these all a 7. That's the highest I can go on these. Maybe a 7. I'm gonna stick with a 7. Anyway, back to the movies. All of these movies, they're all gonna rate a 7, except the Abbott and Costello one, which is gonna rate maybe a 5. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is much better. Them meeting the mummy is kind of stupid and silly and boring, but I watch it every once in a while because I do like Abbott and Costello. So anyway, a 7 on all these movies, all 5 of these movies, and a 5 on Abbott and Costello, Meet the Mummy. But anyway, I like the idea of the mummy, though. Can you imagine being buried alive and sitting in your tomb for 2,000-3,000 years, just waiting to? Oh my God, that would just be so horrible. And you've been kept alive because of the curse that was put on you by the pharaohs back then. Oh my God. Oh, and just waiting for somebody to find your tomb and set you free. Can you just imagine that? The horror of that, being buried alive, and oh my God, and maybe having your tongue cut out, and stuff like that. And to me, that's always been one of my worst fears, is being buried alive. Because I'm very claustrophobic, that would just scare the living shit out of me. I'd probably just end up just dying of fear. But of course he couldn't because he had, the curse put on him, so he was doomed, to lie in there until somebody found him. But I like these movies a lot. I thought Lon Chaney did a really good job in 3 sequels that he did after Tom Tyler did the second movie. So I thought he did a good job, but I still think Tom Tyler was the best mummy in the second movie. I still think he was the best mummy. Lon Chaney, I love Lon Chaney Jr., but I still, there's something about Tom Tyler in the first movie, the second movie I should say, that I think he was more menacing. There's something about him that's more menacing. But anyway, I shouldn't even say that. A lot of people are going to sit there and bitch at me. What do you mean? What do you mean, Spidey? They're all good, man. Lon Chaney rocked. Yeah, man. Whatever. Fuck you. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, so we're going to rate 7 on the first 5 movies and Abbott Costello a 5. We have Spiderwebs. Oh my God. I mean, like I said, we had a lot of... Oh, we're getting kind of late on my quota of time here. My quota. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe I should have something to drink. I'm trying to do these webcasts without getting drunk. All the other guys, basically, in the webcast crew, are drinkers. Pennywise and Butcher and Leatherhead and all the rest of them. I kind of like to do this a little more straightforward and sober because I think I do a better job. Of course, I have fumbled my words a little bit tonight, and I do apologize. Because I am the top reviewer here in the webcast, and I have to set an example for these guys. And these guys are just slobbering all over the place, They're just, making a mockery of everything because they're so drunk most of the time they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I'm just basically trying to stay focused, and letting you know if these are good movies, bad movies, worth seeing, worth having in your collection. What am I doing with my fucking hands here? I have no idea. I need to pick my nose. That's what I need to do. You know, I should make a mummy prop and put it back there somewhere. Maybe, you see these spider webs are right back there? Right there? You know, I should maybe put a mummy there and kind of web them up a little bit. Kind of I could make a horror prop like that, or maybe even find a real mummy and, you know, maybe, wrap them up or something and weather them with stain, brown stain and stuff to kind of make him look like he's been, dead for thousands of years or whatever. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, how do you like our studio? You know, we've been basically trying to add new things all the time. You know, we got, of course we got that new guy back there. What's his name? Jackknife. He's pretty cool. He actually got a pretty good, some really good views and some good comments recently when he did a couple different webcasts. And he's going to be a big hit. He's got his new costume ready pretty soon, and he's going to be coming back talking to you guys. I don't know about what. He doesn't seem like he's focused on movies. It seems like he just wants to scare the piss out of you. He scares the piss out of me. But we have another clown coming in. Oh my God. I'm not sure what he's going to call himself. I'm hearing it might be Cleaver. Oh, he's creepy as hell, man. Or maybe Hatchet. I don't know what his damn name is. He has yet to come up with a name. We found him actually coming. He actually came to the studio a couple days ago because he knew where we lived, or where our studio was. And so he decided to, of course, he was invited by Clover back there. Clover seems to find these weirdos on the street, and he just says, why don't you come on over and be part of the webcast? You know, as long as he's not a homicidal maniac, that's fine by me. So anyway, okay. Anyway, I'm going to cut this one short. So anyway, like I said, go out, get these movies. I'll try to put some links down below on Facebook and on my YouTube comment box, different links for different movies, and let you guys check them out. So until then, you guys behave yourselves and watch for our next webcast. Not sure who's going to be doing it. Maybe me again. We'll see you later. We'll go just like this. Bye. See you later. Bye.